Good evening, everyone. This is Scott back again for the Mercenary Miniature Painter Wargames channel. I'm here with John for a custom battle that we're doing today. So this is a scenario of John's devising. We are doing the Hordes of Chaos led by a Lord of Tzeentch, which is my army, versus John's Tomb Kings. The scenario itself, there are three objectives, one here, and one behind my hell cannon over there. The center objective is worth 300 points, and the other two objectives are each worth 150. But after turn 4, if anybody has the objective, has all three objectives, then it is an instant win for that player. So we'll see how that goes and if that is feasible. All right, so going through our armies. On the Hordes of Chaos side, as I said, I am running Tzeentch today. It's the first time doing so. So for core, I've got two lots of Warhounds, one here, one in the back over there, 2 units of Marauder Horsemen with flails and a musician each, and some chosen Tzeentch Knights with full command, a Tzeentch Chariot, and in the specials, I've got 7 Chaos Trolls, and in my rare choice, I have a Mighty Hell Cannon, and the only character that I have today is a Chaos Lord of Tzeentch on Chaos Steed. We have had a bit of contention before the game's even started. We're not sure how the rules say, because it says if you're in a unit of similar size models, so we have rolled off to say that the Chaos Lord is of similar size to the Chaos Trolls, but let us know if we are wrong on this one. My thinking is that they are bigger than him, so he should be able to hide in the unit. If I'm wrong, I won't do it again. But yeah, that's my army. So over to John for a rundown of the Tomb Kings.
Evening all, we're back here again, and tonight I'm running the Tomb Kings. Scott won the roll-off for table side, so he's kicked me off my favourite side tonight. The joke's on him, I got the radiator over there. So for the Tomb Kings tonight, in the core, we have 11 archers there, another 11 over here, and then we have 19 skeleton warriors with shields and light armour. Team Swarm over here to try and bait a hell cannon, hopefully fairly early on. In the special, we have 4 Ushakti, Scorpion 1, Scorpion 2, and 19 Tomb Guard. And then in the rare, we have one, what's it called? Skull.
Screaming Skull.
Screaming Skull. And it's got Skulls of the Foe.
Yours is miniature there, so it's half strength.
Excuse me. Just like his own now. Right, and then for characters tonight, we have gone a High Leech Priest. So we got the big wizard. He's right there. We got Prince number 1 there, who's my general. Prince number 2 on the end there. And then we have another Leech Priest here. And that is 2,000 points on the nose of Tomb Kings. Do you want to do the roll-off, mate? What's it like running? +1 for the Tomb Kings. Uh-oh.
I'll be taking that one.
Good luck.
Cheers,
and we'll be back after Hordes of Chaos turn 1.
Right, bit of an uneventful turn 1 for the Forces of Chaos. So everything moved up. Most of my armies going for the middle objective. I got cavalry up running out the side there, and obviously hell cannon sat back. Magic, because the short range of a lot of my spells didn't actually get anything off. The only spell I actually cast was Orange Fire, so he has re-rolls on a load of different things, but other than that, not very useful at the moment because he's not in combat. The hell cannon landed a beautiful shot right here, so I clipped 2, got 1 under the hole, ended up with 2 hit, and of course I rolled a 1 for each of them, so did no damage. So sums it up really, but yeah, not looking bad, haven't lost anything horribly, could have misfired I guess. So on to John's turn 1 for Tomb Kings.
Right, Tomb Kings turn 1, movement, pretty uneventful. These all stayed where they were 2. The skeletons shuffle back 2. One Scorpion went that way, the other faced that way. The leech piece jumped out over there, just in case I didn't manage to shell off enough marauders and I wasn't far enough back. And then in the magic phase, Scott let me move everything with my princes, obviously. He stopped this one here, and then he let me get off the magic missile, which killed one horseman. He let me get off the... No, he tried stopping my big man, letting these guys shoot, but I was out of range anyway. And then he used his banged magic missile to kill another marauder horseman, but they did pass their panic. Then in the shooting, this guy was just in front of the horses, but he scattered back 10. These killed another 2 horsemen, but they passed their panic again. And then these guys done nothing to them over there. So could have done with a little bit more, but there you go. That is turn 1 for the Tomb Kings, over to Chaos turn 2.
So Tzeentch turn 2. I've gone for a bit of an aggressive strategy. So my lord has hopped on out. He's going for that back objective, and the trolls are just following him. I did forget stupidity in the first turn, so we rolled it twice this time, and they were all good. The marauders have done a bit of a shuffle, so the one left from the depleted unit is running away. The rest of those have pulled around. Warhounds filled their fear test on the archers, and the knights sort of crept forward a bit with the chariot in support. Magic phase, not terrible. A couple of magic missile hits went off and took out half the skeletons, and then I got orange fire off on my lord again, and yellow fire of transformation from the I think it's the blasted standard, whichever the Tzeentch standard is, that gives you the yellow fire of transformation for a 5-up ward save. And then in the shooting phase, the hell cannon, it did hit last time. I rolled another dead hit, and obviously I knew the range from the last one, and so I've near enough wiped out the unit, doing a massive 10 wounds. So I might have overplayed my hand slightly. We'll see if John can smash me back in this one.
Not now who's your shot, dear dad.
Let's see how turn 2 goes.
Right, Tomb Kings turn 2 was a pretty pathetic affair. So, not wanting his Chaos Lord to rampage in my lines, I didn't do any charges. The Tomb Swarm come up, and he come up where I had him, and he's just gone to there. Shuffling round, this Scorpion went here just to redirect him out the way. The Leech Priest come to here. These done 2 movements. Do Shapti sort of shuffled back, and so did these guys. I'm starting to think why you always take a king, because my magic phase was just nothing. Scott managed to stop it, most of what he needed to, under poor rolls. And the princes, with just the movement spell, and they can do it on their own unit, is just making it hard work. And Scott's seasoned player knows what to stop. So he stopped the Screaming Skull from going. He let me raise my Shapti, but then I rolled a 1 on the D3, so he just got 1 wound back. And then pretty much everything, I did manage to do a wound to a troll with his bang magic missile, but everything else was stopped. And then the shooting, this is where it went from bad to worse. The Screaming Skull landed dead on here. I had 5 partials and the one under the hole. Rolled all under 4s for the partials, so didn't do anything, and then rolled a 1 on the one under the hole. So they've escaped. I have got the skulls of, the -1 to the leadership as well, but that's not.
So Chaos turn 3, bit of a mixed bag, bit of reshuffling. Because of John's careful positioning, I couldn't just run through his line. So my Chaos Lord over there has got himself into an annoying position. The trolls just repositioned in the middle. I did charge with both the knights and the chariot. They both passed their fear, but the knights were just, I think, an inch out of range. So they have failed and not managed to get in. And with the Tomb Swarm too close, I needed to roll double 1 not to rampage, and the Hell Cannon has run amok and gone after the swarms behind it. Warhounds there moved up. those Warhounds failed another test, and these Marauders have moved up to support them. In the magic phase, I tried to Violet Fire and get rid of the Leech Priest, but he passed his leadership test, so he has not been sucked into the Realm of Chaos just yet. And then I got Orange Fire off again on my General. On to shooting, blasted off a Spew Iker and did nothing. In combat, I only did 1 wound, very annoyingly, and lost 2 Chaos Dwarves in the bargain, so didn't even do any crumble damage. So that's not good. But the Chariot, despite being on his own, rolled over, killed, I think,
6.
was it 4 with the... No, I
got
killed three impact hits, yeah. Then I did 2 with the steeds and 1 with the crew. So then they crumbled another one.
Prince did nothing back.
Prince did nothing back, so it's a bit of a shame that he was all by himself, because they've done a nice bit of damage there. But yeah, not going to complain with that as a turn. It's on to John's turn 4. On to your 3. Alright, let's see if you can make a mark with this catapult. 19.
Yeah, mate.
Smack in the middle. Misfire dice. Oh. That might be. Splash is short.
Oh, come on. Right, end of Tomb King's turn 3. Some good and a lot of bad. Me and Scott were just saying this is a bit of a crazy game. You don't really know what's going to happen next. So, in the movement phase, I charged his chariot with this Scorpion that was in the flank and Ushabti, who's not there anymore. The Tomb Guard just moved round there 4. My General jumped out. The archers reformed there. This guy moved 4 this way. And this Scorpion charged the flank of the Trolls. These guys stayed where they were over here. That was movement. Magic. Or the 1 Prince, sorry, because you can only cast it on your own unit. Let them do a round of combat. And I did wound the chariot once. And then this guy moved the Tomb Guard. I rolled an 8. Scott tried stopping it, but he never. They got in there. And then this chap here made the Tomb Guard fight. They never killed anything, annoyingly. And then, sillily, I don't know why I didn't raise some skeletons back up here, but I made Ushabti fight against the chariot, and he done nothing. Then shooting. This guy here landed square on the Marauder Horseman, and then scattered off somewhere around that region. These lot done nothing, but they did actually roll 1 hit this time, surprisingly. And that was shooting. And then in the combats, this one here, I whiffed again. And Scott did kill 3. And won the combats, who crumbled 1 more. Over here, I did do a couple more wounds to the chariot. But annoyingly, he managed to kill my Ushabti before going out. Obviously, he auto-broke because outnumbered by a fear causing enemy. And then this one here, I done 3 wounds. Scott regened 2. And then I managed to... then he managed to do 2 back to me. It was a tie combat because he outnumbered me. And then, luckily, the good bit of news over here, my Tomb Swarm managed to actually kill the dwarf. So this thing is rampaging now, which is quite handy for me because he's going to obviously attack these wolves and then go crazy somewhere else with a bit of luck. So that was the end of turn 3 on the Scots turn 4.
Chaos turn 4. Not a bad turn. So, unfortunately, the Demon Engine's gone mental now, so I think I've lost control of him for the rest of the game. So he charged the Warhounds over here. The Warhounds here continued to fail their fear checks. Luckily, so far, none of the Tomb King archers have actually hit any shots. As much as I wanted to get rid of the Screaming Skull catapult, I needed to make sure that the trolls were going to get rid of this guy over here and have some support in next turns. Although in hindsight, that was me being stupid because I thought that Team Scorpion was in combat as well, so he probably would have been better off just getting rid of the catapult. But hey ho. Magic, I didn't bother trying to cast anything because I already had 2 remains in play spells that I wanted to keep. Chariot, sorry, did not rally. Shooting phase, I spewed Icor, killed 2 of the warhounds, and then in the combat killed the other 3 and chose not to overrun. That might be risky as he is going to start moving over there now, but I'm hoping that the knights can get out the way soon, as their combat has been going pretty well. They've mown down quite a lot of the Tomb Guard. There's only 3 left now, and the Chaos Lord made short work of the Tomb Scorpion, so we're in a relatively good spot. But there's still a lot of tricks that John can pull out of his sleeve with 3 more turns to play. So we'll see what he does on turn 4.
Right, Tomb King's turn 4 was pretty good, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. We've managed to pull it back a fair old bit. So in the movement phase, I've done no charges. This Scorpion over here just moved up to the middle. These guys here just moved up into the flank of the Trolls. And these guys just moved up to the Marauders, and then my main man flew over here. In the magic phase, this is where the fun really began. Both princes tried to move the unit into the Trolls. Scott stopped both, and then this guy did move them into the Trolls. They went in the Trolls' flank, and then this bloke over here, Scott let the banner go. Or roll 2 loads, stop it, sorry. And then 6 of these come back with their magic banner. And then this guy moved the Scorpion. Scott didn't have no dice to stop it. He went in there. And then he raised another 5 Tomb Guard back up. So we got 11 more of them back. And then in the shooting phase, we did look. It didn't have a minimum range on it. So he went straight on the Marauder's heads. Direct hit. Killed 1. And they panicked. And then these guys shot at him, killed another one. He's finally done a wound to the dogs over there. And then in the combat phase, Scott's still ripping through my units. But I lost by 3 this time. So Scorpion crumbled 2 and they crumbled another 3. And then luckily for me, these guys, I did have the Blade of Morning on him. And he did wound a troll. So I done loads of wounds. Scott did regen quite a few of them. I only killed 1 troll. They done 2 wounds back, but I won at a canter. And the Blade of Morning doubles whatever I win by pretty much. So they all broke. I managed to run them down. Scott rolled a 6. I rolled a 7. And this guy passed his leadership check. So no panics for him. Now that is the end of turn 4 for the Tomb Kings. Over to Scott.
That was a good example of failing upwards. So the Warhounds finally got a charge on these archers and predictably did very little damage, lost 2 in return and ran away. But John has overrun too much, so now he's not able to charge or shoot at my Marauder horsemen, who are the bigger threat. So, well done, useless Warhounds. Right, turn 5 Chaos, and I had a few tough decisions to make because John was put me in an uncomfortable position after losing those trolls. So the Marauder cavalry over there moved, they rallied, and the Warhounds actually finally landed in combat with the skeleton archers right over there in the corner, although you might be able to see that didn't go so well. The Lord skirted back a little bit, and the chariot rallied. The lone Marauder from the start of the game has come back into play. And this thing rampaged forward ineffectually at the moment, although it is uncomfortably close to my knights. But the things that did go well, so magic was brutal this turn. So I got an irresistible blue fire off on this unit and killed a lot of them.
You only done 6, but you did kill 6.
Yeah, killed 6, and then I got a red fire off and killed 3 more. And then got orange fire back on himself. John did stop me from getting my banner ward save on this unit. However, in the combat phase, they trounced the Tomb Guard and killed this Tomb Scorpion, which crumbled the last of the Tomb Guard. So they are now free to run around the battlefield again. Over here, although I did say it was a successful charge to the skeletons, they did win the combat, but that they sort of overextended themselves and they've run behind the Marauder horsemen.
They can run faster and better than they can shoot.
Unfortunately for John, that's put his plan to flank me out of paid there. So John needs to really sort of get some lucky shots off, I think, with that Screaming Skull, if it's gonna go well, or just hope my Hell Cannon turns the tide. But on to turn 5.
Right, Tomb King's turn 5. We've managed to do a bit this turn. Still, I don't think it's going to be enough. There was no charges to declare. The Lord flew back into this unit over here. He moved back here. These just turned to face the Marauders that were there. And that was that. In the magic phase, one of the princes moved the unit just to get out of arc of everything. And then this guy got the Screaming Skull. Scott let it go off. Hit this bloke straight in the middle. Scattered 2 back, and then still done 4 partials and the one under the hole. I managed to kill 2, but annoyingly Scott passed his panic. And then this guy done the magic missile onto the Marauders, killed all them. So they went. He done his bang magic missile onto the dogs, killed all them, and then he raised up 3 more skeletons. Scott couldn't stop it, so a decent magic phase. In the shooting again, obviously all my skeletons were facing the Marauders, so I didn't want them getting my Screaming Skull, so they couldn't do anything. And then the Screaming Skull nailed them again, scattered 2 to the right this time. He had 3 partials. I killed 1, but they passed their panic again, annoyingly. So that's how it ends up. On to Scott's turn 6. See how we go.
Quick recap of my final turn. Thankfully, I didn't rampage very far because I was in the rear of my knight, so I only went 4 inches forward. These 2 just made sure they secured the objective between them, and the knights moved forward as far as they can to try and make the Screaming Skull's arc a little bit more difficult on them, with the Lord moving back just to try and, again, make sure he minimised the chance of getting Screaming Skulled. And then magic, I got a red fire off and killed 5 skeletons, and then I got blue fire off and did 1 wound to the Hierophant and 2 wounds to his general, the Prince. So unfortunately, it would have been nice to get 1 more wound and get half for either of them, but not a bad turn overall, especially with what I've got left on the table. So we'll see what John can do in his final turn, but it's still close. Alright, it's the final roll of the game. It's all in the balance. Can the Screaming Skull?
We'll do a 12 under there, mate. Oof. John. Just on that bloke there?
Yep. Oh, there it is.
Oh, no. You could have just cost yourself quite a few points.
It's going to be...
No.
Just count fire. End of the game. Let's tally it up.
Right, last turn, and I think I might have possibly snagged a win, but definitely pulled myself back into it with a... Thanks to this guy. I thought I was memeing by bringing him, but he's actually saved me tonight. So, movement phase, these move 4, these reformed, he come to there. These 2 chaps moved to there, and this guy flew up onto the objective. Obviously, there was a Marauder Horseman and a Chariot just there. In the magic, obviously, Scott let me move both of these, which I knew he'd do. This guy tried firing the Screaming Skull onto the knights, obviously. Scott managed to stop that, but he used all his dice in stopping it because I rolled so well, so he had free reign with his banged item, the 2d6, 3d6 strength 2 magic missile. I did roll a mighty 15.
Yeah.
15 hits, and then I rolled 5 6s and killed the Chariot. And then with the d6 strength 4 magic missile, I only rolled 2, and I only rolled 1 to actually wound him, but Scott failed his save, so he killed the Marauder. So this guy held the objective. And then on, which I thought would have sealed Scott's fate if I could have in the shooting phase, these 2 plinked 2 shots in, missed. Screaming Skull catapult landed just on that bloke head at the front there. I rolled a direct hit, but a misfire. Luckily, he never blew himself up. But that was how it all ended up. Well done, mate. Good game.
Nice one.
We're just going to total up now, and then we'll be back with the final summary.
Go on then, John. What was the score?
Very close again, mate, and it was down to the objectives again, but I didn't manage to snag a win. It was a draw in the end. So,
all thanks to this bugger.
With the 450 from the 150 from this objective, the 300 from this one, I managed to get 1197, and then you had 100 for a banner. You got 1117, so it was an 80-point difference. A draw, I think a lucky draw for myself. I think you probably deserved it throughout the game, but those slight little bits of luck finally favoured me.
In retrospect, I wish I'd gone last, because then my hell cannon would have tried to charge you. It'd have been a bit more risky for you to go for the middle. But
in the objective ones, it is always quite handy as well to be going last. But obviously, you had a cav armor, didn't you? So you wanted to get
I wanted to get up close.
In my face very early. That was a really fun game, though, mate. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, some sort of silly lists on both of our behalfs as well, and they ended up both being quite fun. The trolls weren't actually too bad. If I hadn't have positioned them badly, I think they would have.
It's a bad one with the Tomb Kings, because obviously I can wangle around and get those flank charges and stuff like that. But
old matey boy here, as a single character, he actually did quite well. I think he probably did about half of my my kills, to be honest.
Being a lone wizard as well, he dealt out some horrible damage throughout the game.
The hell cannon was amusing as always. Did get a good shot off. I mean, he's responsible for mostly killing the Ushabti, so he more or less balanced his points out. I think the knights absolutely just mowing through. I think your Tomb Guard really let you down this game. It's just
we talked about it in the game, didn't we? I think I had 11 attacks before you even hit, because I had 5. I managed to get the incantation off that let him attack first out of combat, and then I obviously had the charge with 6 attacks. Done absolutely nothing, and then they got rinsed every single turn, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't do 1 wound in all of that time.
Not 1 killing blow, not 1 wound.
No, and that I don't think I ever actually had to roll a ward save, even when I did have the ward saves on. It was only thanks to the Screaming Skull you started to...
even my Scorpion going in to help them, and the 1 turn of raising 11 back as well.
If anything, the Scorpion hindered them, because he's the one who died and tipped the balance at the end, but... No, good game, mate. Enjoyed that one.
Brilliant.
Thanks, everyone. We've been Scott and John from the Mercenary Miniature Painter. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get notifications for our videos. But otherwise, see you next week.